I recently visited Apalachicola in Florida, and it was quite interesting. I did a few things I've never done before. Well, I'd never been to Apalachicola, but I knew I liked saying the name. It just rolls off my tongue. So, have you ever heard of it? It's up in the Panhandle of Florida. It's on the Gulf. It's a very small historic town, about 2,000 people, and it is old Florida. Hi, I'm Sandy from Sandy Over 70. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video and will give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. It helps my channel. Thank you so much for that. It's funny, I lived in Florida for 33 years. I lived in South Florida in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. And I always thought that South Florida is more like the North. There's really nothing old Florida about it. But the north part of Florida is very old South, and it's more like the South because it's adjacent to the South. So what does Apalachicola mean? Well, it's an old Indian word that means people on the other side, or land of the friendly people. It was found in 1831 as a cotton shipping port, and it was quite a busy port in its day. Now it's much quieter. It has historic homes, warehouses, art galleries, and it's much more quiet, although visitors still do enjoy coming here.
Well, I learned to drive a golf cart today. Not too hard, a little bit different from a car, a little jerkier. And the lights, the turn signals, do not automatically stop when you turn, so you have to remember to turn them.
We drove our golf carts over to the historic Raney House. It was built in the 1830s when cotton was king, and Apalachicola was a huge bustling port for the movement of cotton. It was built by David Raney, and he raised his 8 children in this house, which is hard to believe when you walk through it, and it's not all that big, as homes were in those days. And you wonder how they had all those people in there, but that was the norm, and he was a wealthy man, so this was even the exception. It was filled with lovely old furniture and antiques, but the thing I focused on were the antique gowns. I always find that fascinating because they're so tiny. Their waists were so small, and they seemed to be short people, which I guess they were. But I love the craftsmanship of the gowns, and I always imagine wearing them and what it was like. Later, we spent time walking around the downtown area, and the first night it was late and all the stores had closed. There was no one on the streets. It was deserted. We looked into the storefronts, but we really couldn't see anything. The next day, however, the stores were open, and we spent time going in them. I really enjoy these little gift shops that small towns have.
This is the town of Apalachicola up in the Panhandle of Florida, and I think they only have around a little over 2,000 inhabitants, so it's not a huge town. Not too much action here at 5:30 at night on a Wednesday. Pretty sleepy town. This seems to be a one traffic light town, and they just keep it on blinking red and blinking yellow because there's so few people. There's no sense having it turn to red. We just stepped into the walkway and the car stopped and we walked across the street. Some of these shops look kind of interesting. Maybe tomorrow we can take a look because it's 5:30 now. Everything's closed. Well, that's interesting. There's a sign that says Tupelo Honey, which is the name of a restaurant in Asheville, but I don't think that's what this is. No, definitely not. Interesting sign. Yeah. It says Back Street Botanical Garden. Well, that's certainly one use for an old toilet. Pretty Mermaid.
$500.
I noticed a beautiful theater called the Dixie Theater, and I peeked inside because it was all dark, but it looked like they had just closed the doors temporarily and would be coming back. There was a sign in the next window that said for rent, and I still to this day can't figure out if it's a functioning theater or not, because their website says that they closed during the pandemic and never reopened, and so does their Facebook page. And yet another site says that they have performances January through March and that they are a professional theater. I don't know which it is, but it was a really pretty theater, and although it's a professional theater, it made me think of small towns with community theaters that flourished in previous years, like the one I was involved in Brevard, North Carolina, which closed during the pandemic and never reopened also.
Things are much livelier here today in Apalachicola. The wind is kind of brisk and the air is cool, but look at how sunny it is. So we're going to do a little shopping, and we had a nice lunch in their downtown area. And then they have a botanical garden we're going to visit. Trying clothes on in this cute boutique, but nothing quite fits. Looking for the flowers. Well, we continue on looking for flowers. None yet. Well, I think we've seen everything, and honestly, there's not one flower blooming in this botanical garden. Oh well. This is a beautiful house, but we were told it's not open today. I don't know exactly what's in there. We've received warnings about alligators on the property, but so far have not seen any, although we have seen some little turtles. This eagle statue is interesting. Look at the claws on this bird. Wow. This statue is a memorial to those who served in the Vietnam War.
We finished our stay with dinner at the Owl Cafe. Just look at these delicious desserts. Let me know if you've ever been to Apalachicola, Florida. And I do recommend a visit. It is truly a hidden gem and a beautiful place to visit. And especially the Gibson Inn, which takes up a whole city block, and it's not a very big city. I'll put my link to the review of the Gibson Inn in the description below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.